guys, welcome to my recipe book where today I'm going to be baking a quiche and we're also going to conquer any fears that you might have about making short crust pastry. Now, a traditional French quiche is made with just bacon, eggs and cream, but my version is with chicken and mushrooms. So let's get started with this short crust pastry. So I'm going to make the crust in the food processor. I've got about 175 grams of flour. This is all-purpose flour. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. So this butter has come straight from the refrigerator and I've cut it up into cubes. This is 113 grams of unsalted butter. I'm just going to distribute it through the flour. It needs to be really chilled and it helps keep things really cold. So the butter's in and I'm going to pulse this till it looks or takes on the texture of wet sand. That's the texture I'm looking for. So you'll see here that some bits of butter are chunkier than others are finer, but that's fine. That's what's going to give us a really good pastry. And now I'm going to add ice cold water. This is going to need anywhere between 2 to 4 tablespoons of water depending on the humidity. Just keep the food processor on pulse mode and add the water through this feeder tube. The texture that I'm looking for is that I want this to get really clumpy. It just should form clumps. It shouldn't come together as a dough ball, but I just want it to get into clumps together. There. You can see that it's clumped together already. So there, this has got the right texture. I'm going to just empty this out onto this chopping board. And I'm just going to shape all of this into a disc. Just look at how I'm going to shape this. No kneading. We don't need to knead this. It just needs to gently come together. I'm just going to quickly wrap it in cling film. Wrap it really tightly and keep it in the refrigerator for at least an hour, or otherwise even the freezer for about 15-20 minutes will do the trick. Whatever. I think my whole series now can be called Chronicles of the Struggle with Cling Film, no? And it needs to get into the refrigerator really quickly now. I'm rushing to the refrigerator. So I've got this pastry now from the refrigerator. If you're going to try to roll it out immediately, it's going to break up. You need to leave it out for about a couple of minutes before you can roll it out into your pie dish. I've got 2 sheets of parchment paper and I'm going to roll this out between these 2 sheets. It just rolls out far more easily this way. I'm using a 9-inch tart pan, so I'm going to roll this out to about an 11-inch round. Moment of truth, I'm going to peel off the layer of parchment paper and turn this over into the tart pan. So I'm just going to carefully lift off the parchment paper. This is really delicate stuff to work with, so be careful. There. So what I'm just going to do now is just nudge it into the pie dish. So if, like my crust, yours starts to break at points, don't be alarmed, I'll show you how to fix it. Just use a knife to trim off the edges. Now these edges are going to be really handy. Don't throw them away yet. So now wherever you find that your crust has probably got a few holes or is a little bit more delicate or thin, just use bits of this dough to fill it in. I'm going to blind bake it for about 20 minutes. Got some parchment paper here. I'm going to fill it up with some baking beans. Now these aren't any special beans. I've just got a mixture of black-eyed peas and some kidney beans. So what this will do right now is that it will help my crust to bake partially, and the weights from these beans will make sure that the crust doesn't rise up while it's baking. I've got my oven preheating to 200 degrees Celsius, so I'm going to pop this in for about 20 minutes. So while the crust is baking, I'm going to work on the filling. Just pour out about 2 teaspoons of garlic oil. Just let that heat up a bit and add about 1/4 teaspoon of chili flakes. So now to this, I'm just adding about 1/3 cup of chopped up leeks, but you can use shallots as well. That's a really good substitute for leeks. Just let these cook until they're a little bit softened, which will take about a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to add some chopped up button mushrooms. This is just about 150 grams. I'm going to cook these mushrooms till they release the water and the water evaporates completely. Don't feel shy to turn up the heat at this point. Just a little bit of salt. 100 grams of shredded chicken, but you can use any leftover roast chicken or anything. And then after 20 minutes, I'm going to pull out the parchment paper and the baking beans and let it bake for about another 3 to 5 minutes. Otherwise, the crust, the bottom part of it, will stay a bit soggy. So the crust is really nicely blind baked. You can see that it's taken on just a slight goldenish color, lovely sunny golden color. So what I'm going to do now is just brush it very lightly with some egg wash and pop it in the refrigerator again just for another 3 minutes or so, just so that that egg wash sets. Otherwise, I just don't want a soggy crust. I'm doing everything to avoid that today. Just quickly brush up the edges as well. And that's it now. And I'm just going to pop it in the refrigerator for just about 3 minutes. So now I'm going to make the custard for this quiche. I've got just 3/4 cup of cream. This is just 25% fat cream. I'm using this because this is what we find most easily in stores in India. I'm just going to crack 2 eggs. I'm not going to whisk this too much because there's a lot of protein in this bowl. A gentle whisking to break up the eggs. And now for the seasoning. Generous amount of pepper and salt. This is dedicated to my director. He can never have too much salt in his food. And because I've got something for the director, I have to have a little bit something for me too. Chili flakes. So this custard is ready. Now all we have to do is just assemble the quiche for the final round of baking. So the crust is back. Now I'm just going to start layering it with first the mushrooms and the chicken. That's the first layer to go in. Just spread it out at the bottom. The next layer is of some freshly grated parmesan. A traditional quiche would sometimes have Gruyere, but I feel that with this combination, parmesan just adds such a whole lot of flavor. And the final layer of the custard. So now I'm going to drop the temperature of the oven to about 180 degrees and bake this quiche for about 20 to 25 minutes until the custard is just about set. So I'm going to pop this back into my baking tray and bake it. There you go, that's my chicken and mushroom quiche for you. And I'm pretty sure that now that you and I have made this short crust pastry together, you're not going to find it so intimidating anymore. If you like this recipe, subscribe to our channel. See you next time.